and welcome to Daisy Carving 101. It's just a simple little fun carve for us all to do together. Took me about an hour, might take you a bit longer. All you're going to need is a 3/4 by 3/4 by 6 inch block of wood and a carving knife. Any sturdy knife should do, doesn't have to be anything fancy. And we're just going to start with the knife strokes down the end. Always point away from the fingers. Just always mindful of where your fingers are, and be mindful of like how hard you're pushing and the angle of the blade, because these are all essentials for knife carving. You want to create these nice long stroke patterns that have a equal thickness shavings coming off. We're going to need those shavings later, so you're going to want to get as many kind of, like I said, equal thickness shavings as you can. Don't focus too much. We're going to be creating a lot of shavings. It's a good way to practice too, because you can really hone, the angle of the blade and all these things to keep in mind while you're carving. Here I'm just doing a little bit of a design. I don't have a pattern for this carve. It's such a simple carve. You can see I'm kind of making like a little bit of a lollipop kind of look, and that's just really so I can gauge where the stem is, where the head of the daisy ends and the stem begins, those kind of things. And now I'm just removing material. So again, very mindful of where my fingers are. I would suggest anybody new to carving use a carving glove in this instance, or even a block to carve against so you have some leverage. My hands are very experienced in this, so I'm quite comfortable with my fingers close to the knife. But yeah, it's about mindfulness. Carving is about methodical, making sure everything is even. I mean, even little things like this, making sure each side is the same, is a great way to practice your carving ability. One knife stroke at a time. It doesn't. It's not about the finished product. It's about the whittling. It's about having fun while you're creating. So I just kind of pick away at this, and you can see here I'm doing a bit of a curved stroke here. So this is a little bit more advanced. So so you can see I'm pushing down and I'm doing a curve right away, and I'm letting the knife guide me here. I'm not pushing too hard, because you could really catch a bit of grain and take too much off. So this whole part is really just about, again, taking my time, taking little bits off. I'm done with taking off chunks of material. And I just keep going in circles until I'm satisfied with the thickness of the stem, and also that kind of curve at the bottom of the head of the daisy that you can see there. So I'm trying to make that, again, if you want to get fussy and spend an hour on that, that's up to you, or if you just want something simple, just create what you can. A lot of it will be covered by daisy petals anyway, so you won't really see this part necessarily. Once I've got the stem covered, we can move on to the head, which is really just rounding off that block. I don't want to take too much material off, so I'm really just careful, as you can see, just one chip at a time. Really trying to keep control of the knife here so the knife doesn't go flying with every stroke. So just take each corner off, until eventually we've got a bit of a rounded look to it. And it's really just about patience, keep going. Because the thing is if you take too much material off, you got to start from scratch. So now we're on to the bevel on the head. So just creating a little bit of a bevel. You can see I'm just doing little tiny knife strokes. And even here, where I'm using my thumb to push against the back of the knife, although the angle does look like it's pointing towards my fingers, the knife is not pointing towards my fingers. And I'm using my thumb as the pressure on the knife. That way I can really control how hard I'm pushing, instead of using my hand and my arm, which are less precise. So next, what we're going to do is just create a bit of a ledge here below the very top. And what that does is just kind of hide where the petals go in. It just makes it look a little bit more lifelike. So all I did was create a little bit of a slit all the way around, and then now I'm just going to very gently push against that and take little chips off till I've got about, a 1/16 of an inch kind of thing. all the way around. Again, don't have to get real fussy with exactly. A lot of this will be hidden, but it will make the pedals look cleaner when you put them into the slot. So and next, we're going to create the slot after this. So once I'm happy with the rounding off everything and, getting all the little details done, yeah, we can move on to the slot that the pedals sit in, which is really just another type of bevel. So I'm going to create, as you can see, I'm just kind of rolling gently the head of the daisy under the knife, and then just doing one straight cut, one angled cut, and just creating that just a little tiny, like the smaller the better, because that way the pedals will fit in there tightly. But again, you don't got to get fussy. You can always use glue if you're having a hard time with this part where the pedal's staying in. Is a little dab of like super glue or something like that will, keep the pedals in. So, but I really designed it so they can sit, you can take them in and out. Because you can see here, I'm making the pedals. I'm just using the shavings. So those flat shavings that we created earlier are now our pedals. So kind of just, again, you can get as fancy as you want. I'm rounding off the ends here a little bit so that, they don't look like flat shavings, but really, you can get as fancy as you want. I put a little bevel at the end here so that it fits into the slot nicely. And then you should just be able to, as I am here, just push that pedal in there and it should just sit in there nicely. So might take some fiddling around, but once you get the hang of it, as you can see, it's just a matter of boom, press each pedal in one at a time. And like I said, you can make these pedals really, exactly all the same. They don't have to be a certain length. They can be any length. As long as they're all about the same length, it'll look fine. But as you can see here, really, it's not that important how fancy the pedals are. It still looks like a daisy when it's done. So that's why I love this carve. It's for all levels. I mean, you could be an expert or you could be a beginner, and this will be fun for everyone. So not a difficult carve. And, I think it's something different. I haven't really seen a daisy like this around before. So if you all have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.